here or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Or we were supposed to, a couple of projects, we had a couple of projects, music projects now. We can't do them because it's tight over here. Basically, everything has been flipped, and I recognize it's like now everybody, you have to be understanding, you can't plan like you used to plan. You see, so when you sit down and share these things, it kind of, from a human perspective, we just encouraging each other, you know what I mean, encouraging each other. And the biggest thing I learned was to say, yo, it's okay to have a bad day.
Yeah, that's nature. That's a big. That's actually a big deal. Because once people start realizing that, things actually get better pretty quickly. So that's major. That last thing you said. I mean, my other takeaway, and this is an ongoing situation globally, right? But and then it's spiking back in places and so on. But is that we remember what this feels like, because maybe now when people, as I said, this affects all society, right? So when people say to me like, we don't care about people coming across the border from Mexico to the U.S. Well, maybe now you will, because maybe now you know what they feel like, because those refugees don't have, that's their constant state. The state we're in is their constant state. So if we can empathize with the homeless, the disenfranchised, those people that don't have the ability to plan, the luxury to plan, or have hope.
The luxury to plan ahead, or the luxury to do this. They've never had that. I see. Yeah. It's okay. Go on. Sorry to interrupt.
That could be a good thing. I mean, and we don't know. Like, we don't know where we'll be in 6 months, I guess, at this point, right? So, we just got to keep going.
Keep going. Yeah. Keep checking on each other.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm big on checking on each other. So, it's uncertain times here. And then the thing that my takeaway from it is, when I was talking to this artist, my takeaway from it was like, he's trying to do this. He's trying to come out and talk about this because he experienced it. And I'm like, yo, I'll help you whichever way I can. Things are moving slow. He's planning this. I'm helping with that. And then because we are sports, where we come from is sports oriented. Football is big over there, right? So, and then we also know a few footballers who've gone through the situation, and so we're talking behind the scenes. We're talking, probably maybe in future we can have a group session. We can just share. We're talking about also some artists back home. They're going through this, but the stigma now. The stigma, you see what I'm saying? We think this will spread out, and then we'll touch many more people, and then from there we'll move from the stigma. We'll move into doing something about it. We'll move into being proud about it. You understand? That's like, move forward to be proud about it, where you can own up and say, listen, like you have, which you're very brave, and like KAKTUS has, like a couple of people have. It's a statement. It's kind of like an inspiration to me. It's like, okay, this thing happens, my man, and I'm really glad about that. Now, I don't know if I can ask you about your team. I know it's all closed, and I know it's all that. How are you moving forward with training and anything like that? How are you going to do it?
Well, we're not. So the season was just started when COVID happened, so we canceled the season immediately and then paid all the players their entire contracts and then sent them home, because we were worried. We have players from Europe, Southern Hemisphere, and all over the US, so we were worried that they get stuck in New York. So we canceled quickly and paid them and sent them all home. And our new season will start till February of next year. So we've been recruiting, we've been building our front office, like our executive staff. We hired a CEO, just hired a chief revenue officer, which is a commercial salesperson, we hired a general manager. So we've actually been hiring whilst everybody else has been laying off. And we're still hiring. We're looking for content creation, marketing, and a few other positions. And we've been recruiting players. So the coaches have been busy working on the current players, making sure that the ones we want to get back, which is most, maybe all of them, come back, and then we get more players in. I've been working more on So with an executive staff, I haven't had to work on it as much, which has been great because I'll be able to give my time to other things.
Yeah.
I'm still working on a stadium. That's probably my only active role in the day-to-day of the club is trying to get a stadium built. But so it's going really well. I mean, we don't know in February we'll play our league. We just don't know if there'll be fans in the stadium or not, but we'll definitely play. Training situation we're working on as well. So we're in a pretty good spot, So we just missed out on.
Thank God for that.
Thank God for that. We just, there's no sport going on at all anywhere right now, so we all miss it and miss the opportunity to develop younger players. But small problems compared to everything else that's going on, So as I said, we're in a pretty good spot.
Getting your house in order in case, like, hoping when the things open up, as you should.
Exactly.
Listen, like a lot of people, me included, didn't know rugby as a sport. Like it's played in America. Most people thought it's just what you call it, NFL and something. Didn't know rugby. Like, tell us about that. Like, how is it?
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah. So I'm the same as you, man. I came here in '99 to work, and I didn't realize rugby was here until about a year after I was here. And now I know that just in New York area, there's 300 teams. So there's about 1.6 million rugby players in America, and unfortunately they're not all registered. Women's rugby is way more popular than men's rugby, and youth rugby is very popular. There's a reason for that. The women's rugby is what's called NCAA, so that means it's an official college sport. So it gets funded by the NCAA, which is the National College Athletic Association.
Yeah,
that's a very wealthy group. So it's looked at as a source of colleges like it because they get money from the NCAA to run programs, and it's good for recruitment. So the women's rugby is getting very popular. I mean, I think you'll see professional women's rugby in America very, very soon. Men's rugby is popular as well. I think there's over 900 college teams, maybe 1,000 now if we can keep on adding teams. A few thousand high school teams, etc., etc. So it is popular now. It's getting like right before COVID, I was putting 3 new high school teams into New York, and that was St. Joe's, Stuyvesant, and High School Public Service. Those are high schools with combined student body of 14,000 students. So these are not small schools. So, and if we had access to more fields, we would put more teams in. So there's not many fields in New York, full stop. And it's when you expose it to people, obviously they like it because it's got the physicality of American football, but the speed of soccer in comparison to American football, which stops all the time, right? So and then New York's a little different because you've got over 1 million people here that were born in countries like the UK where rugby is a normal sport, right?
Rugby's big here.
So, but rugby's growing. There's other interesting things like rugby's growing the most right now in America in Texas. It's growing massively in Texas because the high school American football teams play rugby in the off season for practice.
For building up. I've heard about
it. So. It's growing. It's growing massively, and I still play rugby. I'm still terrible, so I didn't get that at an age. But I like it. We're really focused on the values. If I don't have a jersey anywhere, but our values are inclusion, teamwork, equality, and respect.
Play? Are you a flank or hooker?
I'm a flanker, yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
How competitive is it? Your league there?
It's very competitive. very very physical. So it's very attritional. It's very competitive. You know, we've got, you know, we're attracting some of the best players in the world, even though the money is very low, and people want the opportunity to live in America for a year or two. And the young American players coming through, I mean, they are athletes. You know, their skill levels maybe are a little bit behind. You know, it's similar to Major League Soccer in the 90s. You know, when that came through, and you know, you had older Europeans, older global stars coming over, and
coming over. Young, their last, I know.
And then you had young, very, very fit Americans that maybe they didn't have exactly the top skills, but they had fitness and dedication. I think it'll get better every year. You know, we're adding 2 teams this year, Dallas and Los Angeles. So, you know, and there's lots of requests for more teams. So that means we currently have 13 teams across the state. I think that will probably go to 14 or 16 in a couple of years. You know, there's plenty of cities that want teams, you know, so it's definitely going the right direction.
Moving forward, the small steps moving forward, so it is a bright future for rugby in America, basically, you say that.
It certainly is. It certainly is, and obviously I have a vested interest in saying that, but I genuinely believe it. You know,
big. Obviously, you'll invest in something you believe in. Big franchise. You see, in future, you see a big rugby franchise in America.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big rugby franchise.
A household rugby franchise in America, like the way there'd be like a big league that's attracting a lot of top players from this. So
I mean, my dream is that in 9 to 10 years that you know, that the American national team is one of the best teams in the world, because if the national team becomes good, then the American public will get behind it. The entire sport.
Trickle-down effect,
The massive trickle-down effect, and also, you know, we are bidding for the World Cup here in the States in 2027, so you know, those two things could have a huge effect on the game.
Definitely.
And it's extraordinarily popular at the youth level, and that's driven by parents. So, which is mothers run families. Everybody knows that. So
mothers are the bosses.
They are the bosses. They control where the money goes. Absolutely. So it's a good time. You know, I think in just kind of as a segue. In general, I'm surprised. I was initially surprised how much I missed sport when COVID happened. You know, I mean, honestly, I don't watch that much sport because I didn't really have time. But then I realized I actually did watch a lot more sport. I listened to a lot of sport. I listened to, like, you know, I'm an Arsenal fan, so I was.
You're walking.
I listened to it, and I just didn't notice it. Like every Saturday, I'd have BBC 5 on, listening to the football. And I miss it, you know. You miss the distraction, you know. You miss, because we can talk about football all day long and no one's going to die, right? So it's fun, you know. Unless you're a Spurs fan. If you're a Spurs fan, I'm not going to talk to you. But other than that, although in fairness, Leslie King is a rugby United. He's a fan of my rugby team, so I'm getting a bit soft with the Spurs guys now.
Leslie King from Spurs. They used to play for Tottenham Spurs. He's a legend. He's gone into coaching now, I believe. He's gone into coaching, Leslie King.
I think he'll be a good coach. So miss sports a lot. You miss, what are your, you know, we miss people. I absolutely miss people, but what are the things that you miss from COVID?
Basically, me being a DJ, gigging outside, going for me.
Of course.
That's out. And is football. I'm into football. I'm a Ghana's fan, Arsenal fan. I'm an
Arsenal fan as well, bro.
You don't want good football. Oh, thank you, James. You just made my day. You know what good football is. You know what good football is.
I haven't seen it recently, though, unfortunately. But I know what good football is. You know, a little bit the other night.
you know, so I miss that. I miss the banter, regardless of whether we won or not. I'm into the banter. I'm into talking, to knowing what happened, who we are transferring, how the game was. I'm into all that. That's kind of like the second thing me and all my friends do. Like, my friend will call me up even before you say hi. He'll be like, guess what? Guess what? Oh, man, we was beaten 3-0. I'm like, what? Yeah, so that's what I miss and catching up to that. But they're back now. The league is back now. Premier League is back.
Yeah.
I think without the fans' attendance, it's kind of like it's lacking something. Without the fans' attendance, it's lacking something. But saying that, I still appreciate that. Yeah, I'm in sports too, and also the other vital thing is gigging, like playing out DJ for, you know, I mean, that I do miss. But what are you watching? Are you into Netflixing? Are you watching any series or anything?
Yeah, so I have a construction business in New York, so we've been we shut down for a few weeks. I kept enough to be able to keep everybody paid, and then we got back to doing some jobs have to be done regardless of COVID. So we were doing critical jobs, and now we're back. We're back in full swing, you know, with all the right protections in place, I guess. You know, so we're busy, but I think next year is going to be a very, very slow year for everybody economically, because people are going to run out of money, basically. So for me now, it's about planning. I've got great staff. I want to keep my staff. So planning for a couple of years where maybe the income isn't there, but just as long as I can keep my staff going, I'll be happy. Because then we'll be ready. Because it's, you know, I've talked to a lot of companies about this. It's about planning and being ready, because there will be a down cycle, a big down cycle, but it will always come back up. So just be ready for the next upswing. Like, be ready to catch the next wave, right? So to do that, I need to keep my staff in place. I need to work on, you know, like we have with the rugby, or the great people we've hired at Rugby United.
Get your house in order in case when the things happen, hit the ground running, catch the wave, and maybe thing or that. It's
all we can do. It could be a tough couple of years, but you know what? Everybody's going through it, and you know the people that are going to.
I agree with you on that. It's going to be a tough this year. Like, I tell you what, I think people will know how tough it is during Christmas. Christmas is just going to give you a tidbit of how tough next year is going to be. That's what I think. But we all need to tighten our belts. Listen, James, thank you for taking time. And I hope we'll be doing this on the regular. I want to also talk to a couple of your rugby players. I'd like everybody to, we keep these channels open. We keep doing this in the hope that something else is going to come out of this. And good luck with everything.